Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome again to another edition of Office Hours. As always, I'm joined by the wonderful Flo. How are we, Flo?
I'm doing good, Matthew. Thank you. And you? How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I think we've got some friendly faces here again. Elaine and Jill are with us. I'll put a link in the chat for you guys. They drink one. I see your question, Davey. We'll bring it up just after we go through. Actually, Connor's joined us as well, so we'll jump to Connor first. Hey, Connor.
Hey, guys. Hello again.
Hey, Connor.
Hey again.
Got a question again. Hoping you all can help me out.
Sure thing.
Actually, a couple little questions. So I started having problems with my image display. I don't know what happened. Here's the formula, and it seems to work for a lot of the properties. And then for some of the properties, it just decides it can't read it. And I'm not really sure what's going on here.
Okay. Just for this example, could you remove photo underscore URL? Endpoint. Okay, so this one is undefined. So are you sure you have something here that it should find something?
Well, so let's see. As I understand it, the lookup is looking for
this value, this ID, indeed, into property photos.
The photo ID, right?
So
Item data photo ID, 1350. Okay. And that pulls 1350 from my property photos table. And then the specific row was the .photos URL.
Okay. Underscore URL, yeah. Could you go to property photos? Let's check if 1350 exists. So yeah, you might need to go to Superbase, and let's see if this one exists. Let's filter just to make sure that it's not a database issue. Data issue.
I did check that, but we'll take a look again. So here's my property photos.
And could you filter? You see at the top, you've got a button filter, and you can click add filter and look for the ID.
1350. There you go.
Okay.
There's photo URL.
Could you copy this and paste it into a new tab?
Yeah. And that is working. I'll show you.
Okay. Okay. Could you display the full URL just so I can see it?
This one.
You can if you can go back to Superbase and just open the URL so we could see it.
Right here?
This one, yes. Did you add the token? So this image comes from your Superbase storage, right?
Yeah, Superbase storage, correct.
Okay, so you shouldn't save the token like this.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Token. Okay.
So you see in here in this URL, you've got a query, and in that query, so you can see the query with the question mark. At the end of the URL, you've got dot
Right here.
web key and the question mark, and then you can add variables in URLs. It's called queries, and in here you see you've got a token query. So normally you should not save this, but it does not explain why it's not working within the editor.
Because for my storage, I pretty much just, took the URL. So I just took it like this, and then I just put like a hi.
Oh, okay. Now you should have a public bucket instead. So
are these not public?
So if you have to put on something like this, so I don't remember exactly how it works within Superbase. So could you just check the the settings of this bucket on the left side? So maybe near the name, I suppose, yes, here, edit bucket maybe. Yeah, you see in here, you can toggle public bucket. So with this, all images can be accessible from everyone. So you won't need any token to access them.
Okay, what is this doing? Expected number. Why is it not letting me? Fail size limit. Public bucket.
I never had this issue before. We might need to ask Superbase. But basically for public images like this, I think it's the best way. Otherwise, when you have private buckets, it's more complicated because you should have sign URLs to access them. So you do that when, for example, you wish only specific users can access a PDF, for example, or something like this. But for public images like this, I think it's easier to have everything public.
Okay. I didn't even know you could do that. Okay, so I'll need to figure out a way to make this public.
Yeah, I don't know why you have this. You might need to ask to have the support team, Superbase support team.
Yeah. Okay, well, I don't want to take all the time, so I'll circle back on that. My other question is,
but
sorry.
But we do have an issue because if I remember correctly, your formula, we could not find the row; it wasn't defined. So you do have another issue.
Oh, okay.
So it means that the user that is loading your collection doesn't load everything. I guess. So just a quick test. Can you tell us how many items you have in this table? So if you go back in Superbase in here to the table.
What table? Sorry.
Can you if you remember where you added the filter?
Yeah.
Perfect. And no, really in the project at the top. Yeah, table editor, perfect.
And then property photos.
Yeah. Okay, so how many, if you remove the filter, could you remove the filter? Yeah, perfect. So how many rows do you have here? 1,000?
40.
Okay, can you go back to WeWeb and to the collection you are loading? Okay, so can you click on data? I suppose you have a collection.
Yeah, it's my properties collection.
Okay, and in here you are loading. Okay, so this is why, because it's paginated. So you are not loading in here in the browser. You are loading only in here 16 items. So you are looking for something that is not loaded. So that's why you have undefined in your formula. So you have two solutions. You can load everything. You can load your 1,000 properties, but it, and in here you can toggle off pagination, I suppose. Oh no, wait a second. I think it's not the proper collection. I need the collection where you have all images. Yes, this one.
All
All
images.
photos.
Right there.
Yes, this one, and this one doesn't have pagination. But you only have 1,000, so I guess this is why. So Superbase by default can only send 1,000 rows. You can change this in the settings. So let's do this.
Okay.
And after this, I'm going to take just 1 minute to show you how to do it in a better way.
Okay.
So could you go back to Superbase?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so okay, perfect. So now you need to go to database on the left. So not that tab. Yeah, it's database. So really on the left, in here, yeah, above you've got database.
This one?
Yes, this one. Oh, absolutely. Then, if I remember correctly, or maybe it's at the project settings level. Sorry. So you need to click project settings. Yes, in here. Can you scroll? In here, so it's not here. No, it should be in database. Sorry. So you can access it here. Yeah, perfect. And go to. So can you go back to project settings?
Yeah.
And go to I think something like API or something. Yes, can you click here? Okay, can you scroll? Yes, no, not here. Yes, scroll. Yes, you see in here max rows, 1,000.
Oh, I see.
So you can say, just, yeah, let's try this. And now if you load again your page, I think you will see your images.
Let's see. Hold on. I need to go to the ones. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay, perfect. So you can do it like this. It works. But when you are doing those kind of things, you might find value into creating what we call a view in Superbase. You can use AI for this. You can use AI and you just ask for a view, and in that view you ask for all the columns you need for your card. Okay.
I see.
And you can load that view as a collection, and instead of binding to a collection and then doing some lookups to get the data, basically that view will load all the data from other tables, and then it returns the collection with all the data you need. So on the front-end side, on the website for the card, you will bind to only one collection, no need for any formula, and then you're going to have everything in one call, and you won't load all images, because in here your users will load all images in the browser, which is not that nice, at least. So it
Really?
So it won't. Yeah, and you can prevent that from happening in your collection. So another way to do that, so 3 ways. The first one is the one you did. The second one is the one I'm going to tell you just right now, and the third one is the view on the backend side. So one thing you can do to improve the performances, can you go to the collection with the photos, property photos? Yes, this one. So in here you're loading absolutely everything, but you don't need to load everything. You just need to load what's on the page, right?
Right.
So in here, you've got in query configuration, you can filter. And in that filter, yeah, you create a condition here, and I think it's ID, and it instead of equal, it's not equal. It's is in. You see that one? Okay, and in here you can provide an array with all the IDs you want. So let's bind this. You can bind. And in here you need to use a formula called rollup. So it's within array, and you've got rollup. Yes, this one. So can you just over the formula so I can remember the structure? I think it's looking for array and the key. Okay. So first you add the property collection. Okay, and then between quotes you add ID. Okay, so in here you see you generate an array of all the IDs you have in the collection. So the nice thing is that now you won't load everything. You will load only the photos you need.
That's good.
So I think you can click the cross and click save, and normally you should still see the images displayed. And we don't. So we need to check why. So, but I can let you just check the IDs just to see. But in here you've got 16 items, which is, I think, nice.
Yeah.
But we need to understand why it does not it does not match the collection. So I can let you just check this, so we can have someone else on the floor in here. But basically this is the best practice to improve performances.
Okay. Yeah,
so you can do it like this, and don't forget the view thing.
Yeah,
so you can create a dedicated view from your backend.
Yeah, I'll look into this later on. That way. How do I delete this? I'll delete this for now. There we go. Okay. Yeah, thanks. I'll look into that. Real quickly, my only other question was, you can see the map here is working fine in WeWeb, but I deployed my project and the map just isn't displaying. It says, oops, something went wrong. The page didn't load Google Maps correctly. See the JavaScript console for technical details. So I can show you that, but
okay.
I don't know why.
So yeah, go ahead, Matthew. Sorry.
It might be one that needs a support ticket, I think, for something like this. If it's, unfortunately, I don't think there's much we can do on our side right now.
Yeah, I think so too. If I remember correctly, I think within Google Map, you need to allow some URLs on the Google platform. You might need to provide the URL of your application to Google to allow this map to work.
I see. So this might just be, okay.
Yes, absolutely. If it's not this, please contact the support team and they will definitely take a look.
Okay. All right. I'll look into that. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Just quickly before you jump off, Connor, put the Superbase view docs in the chat for you. And also Ryan in the chat suggested potentially looking into the Algolia search API. He said it might fit your use case well. So it might be something for you to look into after.
Sorry, can you say that? That's in the, is there a link in the chat for that?
In the YouTube chat.
He should look at the Algolia API for search functionality. Okay. I see. Okay.
So just potentially want to consider.
Yeah, I'll look into that. All right. Awesome.
Super.
Thank you so much, guys.
Cheers, Connor.
Cheers.
Right, but when we first jumped on, there was a question at the very start in the chat from Davey about dynamic page indexing. So this is probably one for you, Flo, because unfortunately I don't think this is natively possible right now unless there's some fancy ways to go about it. So Davy's question was, hi there, I have a question about dynamic page indexing. Can you add structured data when the pages are dynamically indexed? A marketplace type application? What are the steps to do it?
So no, it's not possible at the moment because for this we need to have a new feature called server-side rendering or something like this. We are exploring this, but right now it's not possible. You need to use static pages if you wish to have the full metadata for your pages. But right now, it's not possible yet.
And then I think, so next up, if we go into who's in the list, so I think it was Jill who's next up. So we shall switch over to Jill. Hello, Jill.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good. So we have this component here. Can you see my screen? And
yes,
it's kind of tied into this next button. And how it's working is you can come through and sort of pick your choices and then click next. And what's happening is when we click next, it's like pre-filling the first two in the next screen with the answers from the first screen. Or I guess.
How are you? I think we went through this component beforehand. Am I right? Before I jump straight in, I remember these radio buttons. Yeah. We did something to set these.
You did it with Elle, and she, for some reason, her computer is not working with ResStream, so now you're stuck with me.
No worries. Could you so how are you initializing the values in these sets of radio buttons?
Let's see here. I think it's here, right? Is this what you mean?
Potentially, yeah. No, so it'll be on the individual, the row of the radio buttons, I think. One? Yeah, so these ones. Yeah, so I think it'll be here somewhere in the settings, maybe. No, maybe if you go into.
It's a component.
Yes, and then the radio button itself.
Like over here?
Yes, please, yeah. How are you actually, are you doing anything to save the result? So for example, what I mean by that is in the project we were using this, do you have anything set up so that when I click the radio button, there's a trigger event and you have a workflow?
Yeah.
Set up around it?
Yeah, it's in our library.
Okay, and then you're actually saving that in Xano. So, and then I take it whenever you press next, you're not loading a new set of components. It's still the same page, right? If that makes sense. You're just changing the questions.
Yeah.
So what you'll need to do is instead of saving the state per se directly inside the component, you'll need to add a property to the component itself. Because right now, when you press next, there's nothing that resets the selection. And so you need something to reset the selection. Or potentially, you could actually just add a reset workflow, I think, to the component. We could. That's probably actually the most straightforward solution when I think it through.
Okay.
So
over here?
I think so. Does that make sense to you? Does anything seem off whack if we were to do that? So if we were to just add a reset workflow to these components, but you've got them inside a dynamically bound list. Oh, that makes life trickier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, okay, in which case we will need to manually record it. So you have the answer trigger. What do you pass in the answer trigger?
Oops. So in here?
Yeah, what data do you pass in whenever it's triggered?
I don't think any data, isn't it just triggered?
It would, but you could pass in data. So yeah, potentially here you're passing the workflow where you actually trigger the event. So I think it will be inside the component. Whenever you click one, you'll be triggering an event. So if on one of the circles, maybe if you click on one of these circles and then on the workflow, yeah, if you click onto this and then click onto the trigger.
This one?
Yeah. Okay, your part. So it's hard coded. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, and so you have each of these is an element, and then so you have the component on the outer. Okay, if you back out of this, Jill, and now on here, if you set up a property
Okay.
on the component, at the very top for the properties, yeah. If you put in initial value,
Like this?
yeah, and then you make it a number, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good for now. We can create that.
Okay.
And then for the workflow, so you'll want to add actually before that, let's create a variable.
Another variable?
Yes, trust me on this one.
Okay.
And let's call it selected value.
Okay. That'll be a
Also
number.
cool. Yep. And we can save this.
Do we want to expose it?
No, it's all good. We'll set it up on the trigger.
Okay.
Then for the work, you want to add a workflow.
Okay.
The trigger will be on property change.
Okay.
And then we'll just want it, and the initial value, and we'll want to change the variable value. And we'll change the value of that selected variable we created to be the property that we pass in, basically. So there'll be and then we'll bind the value, and we'll set it to be exactly the property. So now what we want to do is we will actually, so the way you've got this hard coded right now, let's see. Okay, what we can do is, so if you come out of this, ideally you'd actually, so you have these hard coded, so you've got 5 elements. In the future, if you do this, it's probably best to actually have these dynamically bound as well. But since they're hard coded, we can work with them being hard coded. So if you, how are you setting the active state? So I remember when you click these, they're filled. Do you know how you're doing that? You're setting the button answer value. And then I guess, do you have some kind of state set up around that variable?
Yeah.
Okay, if you go on
Here.
Yeah.
No. Here? No, here.
I think maybe the state drop down,
This one.
just at the top.
Yeah.
And then if you go into clicked, just to check the condition you have set up. Okay, cool. What we'll do here is just instead of current value, if you set, I think, yes, set the property, so you've got 2 of them selected. You already had a variable for current value. Sorry, I didn't actually see that. For now, let's put it to selected value for the variable.
Okay.
And now,
I think you should stick to current value, Matthew.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, do you, as I'm talking this one through, Flo, do you think there's any easier way to reset this apart from?
Yeah, I think you can keep the current value here, and in your workflow, when you initialize, update the current value instead of the selected value. Because I think this is a variable you are exposing, right?
Yeah.
I guess so. So I think this could work. So could you close this? Just go back to the first tab where you created an internal workflow. Yes, here. Could you? I think you can remove selected value. This one you can remove it. And in the workflow, in the action, yeah, you can give it a name. It's like initialize current value.
Okay.
and you need to click on the action and update the variable because
This one.
yes, and you need to bind to the property like you did before. The first one.
This one.
Yes, this one, absolutely.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
But just for this to work, we might need to check again what's going on when you click next on your other project.
Okay. Should I publish this?
Not yet. Can you just go back here? Yeah. Just need to, yes. So in here you've got this. So could you close this and just show us how you bound this to what exactly? So, okay, can you select one of the component with the radios in here? Just one of them. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Okay, can you click on questions container? Okay, yeah, can you show us this? Can you open the first one? Okay, cool. Can you select the first radio group? Yes, this one. Okay. Okay, can you click setting? Just need to make sure of something like you did before, Matthew. Okay, so it's not bound something.
Just to quickly test something, if you in this panel, Jill, on the right, if you turn conditional rendering to off in the bottom and then switch it back on.
And switch it back on?
Yeah. Okay, no, sorry. I was just trying to see how it was being initialized. If it had something to do with when it was rendered, we could potentially set up some kind of hacky method to switch it off and on whenever you change.
Yes, but yeah, I don't know why this one is toggled. You toggled it yourself before?
I think it's because whenever next is pressed, it doesn't actually reload anything. It just changes the questions in the form based on the page. I think is that right, Jill?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And because the state of the radio buttons, they don't change from page to page. There's nothing that is set that up to change. It just changes the state of the questions. So I think the premise of what I was trying to get at is that you would have to, instead of having the state of these buttons change whenever you click one, what you would need to do is whenever I click a button, you send an event out that says this button was pressed, and then outside of these components, you save the pressed buttons and then pass that back into the component. That's where the initial value came from. It's tricky to, this is one of the more advanced things, put it that way, because if the state of these is coming from the outside, that means whenever you press next, you can reset that variable that passes in all of the active selections into the groups.
Okay, and there's no way to like reinitialize the component itself.
Yeah. Because they're dynamically bound, even if you had a reset selection workflow, there's no way, unless there is a hacky way to do this that I'm not aware of, Flo, there is no way to run that component action on every component inside the dynamically bound list. That's the problem. It's because it's dynamically bound to a list is where it's tricky.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that like for this type of thing that we're trying to do, is it better to just have a different page or to pass in like a URL variable or something like that?
I mean, go on, Flo.
Yeah, can you show us again the workflow when you click next? Sorry, something I don't really understand. So, okay, so I guess you are saving all the results somewhere. or not. Screening category current ID, set control.
That's
Okay, you wanted to scroll to the top.
I don't know what that is. Do you want
Okay.
me to-
So what you want in here is to load another form, basically, and I guess you have multiple ones, right?
Mhm.
How many ones do you have?
Well, it's dynamics. It could be any number.
Any number, so you need to reset everything. So in here, are you refetching the collection, or what is changing? Just so I can understand. You are just changing variable value, and it's bound to a collection, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
So I think you need to reload something. What is changing in here? So I can understand. When you click next, what data should you display?
It's going to be the next set of data in the
Yes,
in
in
the
here.
data, right?
Could you, yes, here, yes. So in here, you see you are loading a collection, but when you click next, this collection is not changing, I think. This is what you need to change. Something need to change here.
Okay.
Or maybe you can bind to a variable, and then when you click next, this variable should change. And I think when you do this, you're gonna have your components reset automatically, I suppose.
Okay.
Could we
Okay.
test it? If we were to, in theory, delete the collection from the formula and re-add it, would it do the same thing, Flo? I'm not sure.
We could have the same ideas. I'm not sure. But I think in here you need to improve the data structure. So just let's understand what in here. So in here you've got a collection. So get screening question.data. Do you have all the questions here? Or is it just for the first form you are displaying? Basically, what I need to understand is what should change here when you click next.
I don't know. This isn't working. Elle needs to just fix her computer, I think, because I just have no idea.
Okay, so what you can work on is,
Are we
in
kind
here
of
you
just
are,
like going? You're saying that this data needs to be refreshed?
yes, absolutely. So I think you need to refetch the collection with another filter or something when you click
Mhm.
next. So I guess this is a Zano collection, right? So I suppose in your endpoint on Zano, you need to add an input, something that could be first form, and then when you click next, second, and so on, something, I don't know, you need to tell us. And when you click next, you need to refetch this collection. And so you're gonna have another array of objects, another set of data.
Okay.
Does that
Let's
make sense?
try that. I think I get what you're saying. I think we should try that, and then if it doesn't work, then we will come back to you with Elle on a computer
Okay.
that should interact with you directly, because this is very difficult.
All right, yeah, cannot totally understand, especially
Okay.
when you deal with data like this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You're
Jill.
very welcome.
Right. I think next in the list was Christian. So we shall jump to Christian. Hey, Christian.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm trying to figure out chart.js.
Okay.
And it's I'm sharing my screen. Let me know when you could see it.
Yeah, we've got it.
Cool. So I created this using the WeWeb AI. I prompted it, and after some discussion, I got it to behave the way that I wanted, right? Essentially, I have Xano backend that provides this data. It's I store it using a workflow, an on-page load workflow, and this is the variable that gets stored in, and here's the format in which it gets stored. So here's an X, which is a date, a Y, which is a numeric value, and then a background color that I want the point to be colored, right? And it works, and it does exactly what I want it to do, except for but the problem is that I don't know where this is, like how to configure this and actually like run this. For all intents and purposes, is a static chart, for me anyway, because you know, I can't get to the configuration, and I am having a hell of a time trying to figure out where it is, because I posted it onto the community, and they were like, yeah, go to the labels and then bind it to the but clearly there's nothing that's bound here. So the AI is doing something that I maybe don't have access to, or don't know where to access.
This will be a nuanced one, I guess, because it's the AI working with the charts. So I don't know how the binding for this would work in the background. I don't know if you have any idea, Flo, or if it's like it's a weird one because it's the charts.
Yeah,
library.
it should absolutely be displayed here.
Yeah.
So first time I see this. Okay, can you just can you click on the layouts on the top left? I need to make
The
sure
layout,
something.
okay.
Yeah, in here. So you are selecting the chart. Okay, so you can definitely create a ticket for the support team, and the tech team needs to take a look. This should not happen. I mean, AI should do only things that you can see. So
okay, gotcha.
So in here it should be bound to something. So I think we have an issue, maybe because it's wrapped into a component. We need to understand. So we need to
Right.
We need to be able to reproduce this, to go to your project and check out
that's
what's
fine.
going on. So
I'm trying to reproduce this in a copy of this thing, right? And so I'm trying to do it on my own without the AI's help. Now that I know that this is possible and what I want to do actually works, I've done something, I guess, sort of similar, and I am trying to do this and on my own.
Okay, so let's take 30 seconds to test something. Can you just copy this component, this element here? Yes.
Can I just copy it where?
Yeah, you can just copy it. You click on it, right click on it on the left side, on the layout side. If you right click, you can click copy then.
Oh, this chart here, right click and copy?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, got it.
Can you create just a new page?
Just a new page, okay.
New page. Okay, could it test so you can remove it later? Okay, can you just quickly add the section? So you need to click on the add button at the top. Drag and drop a section. It's the first one. Yeah, and in here, so yes, this is a trick. You need to add the text or something to paste. Yeah, this is something we need to. Can you click again the add button?
The add button, okay.
Yeah, drag and drop something in here, text or something. Yeah, you can't know it works. Okay, click on the flexbox, and now you can paste.
Okay.
Okay, so you do have the chart. Can you click on it?
I guess we can make it bigger. I'm new to WeWeb, so I'm not sure how to make it bigger.
So you managed to have to have a really fancy bug. I've never seen it like that.
Oh, I
need
found
to
a
tackle.
fancy bug. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I wanted to do.
So yeah, so can you just create a ticket in the platform, and maybe between brackets, can you type in OH so we know that it's coming
OH.
also
Okay.
from
I
OH for
will
office
create a
hour.
ticket.
In
Okay.
theory, Christian, one thing you could actually test maybe is if you click onto the settings of the chart again.
The
So the
settings. How do I
sliders on the right-hand side, the right panel
This
in
guy
the
here?
middle. Yeah, so if you could actually, you said you were trying to kind of recreate what it did manually. As a test, you
Yes.
could say to the AI, tell me what you bound to the labels, the data sets, and the options.
Oh.
And
Oh
then
yeah, I
see
definitely did that, and it
Oh, you did that.
it told me that it did what it told me that it bound it to different things, and I was like, doesn't look like it. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
it's definitely not showing what you bound the data to. So I'm just like trying to recreate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apologies. If you
Okay.
could,
All right.
if you could put in a ticket with OH, and we'll definitely have to take a look because,
All right.
as Flo said, it's a fancy one.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Right. Next up is Jonathan.
Hello, guys.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi.
How's it
I
going?
don't have a pink hair, but I will try to show you some fancy bugs.
We love fancy bugs. Whatever you've got for us.
I can see. So I'm gonna share my screen. Yeah, it's on the multi-select, the new multi-select element.
Okay.
So what I did on this input, I have a workflow. So I deleted everything, so just for to test. It's unchanged, I think. Yeah.
It's disabled here.
Yeah, because the workflow doesn't get triggered. So that's why I did this. For example, I will show you. If I select something, we'll have the workflow done. But when I delete something, it doesn't trigger the workflow. Only when I add a tag. So the problem is that when I delete a tag, my collection doesn't get the last options. So with the yeah, I'm listening.
Can you click again on it?
Yeah.
Just so I can understand.
So here it's just like the value, you know. But if I select something, the workflow is run. So the problem I had is when I delete something, the workflow is not run.
Setting value for. Can you show us the workflow again, please?
Yeah. I can put this if you want. It's the same. I just use this for a test. I try on click, so it works, but it's the same on click. It's very strange. It doesn't work. I'll show you. So it works fine when it's here. It's a workflow done. But when I delete here, it doesn't trigger the workflow.
Okay, we need to try to reproduce this.
And I try with the past one. I just tried with the multi-select one, like the previous one. Like this one, it works fine.
It works fine. Okay,
Yeah,
so we might need an issue. We need to check this.
I asked on the community, but I had no answer. That's why I'm coming to you, because I want to finish this.
Did you create a ticket?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will follow up just to check if you can reproduce your issue and take a look to your project if needed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for this.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It looks like so strange. It feels like it's I don't know why it's happening.
Yeah.
Apologies, Jonathan.
Experience. Trying to reproduce on this side.
Can you find it on?
Yeah, I'm taking a look right now.
You want me to send you the community post, or it's fine?
Yes, you can too. We can reply here too. Oh yeah.
Okay. Right, we'll follow up on that one afterwards, I think.
Thank you.
Super. Right. Thank you, Jonathan. Right, and there's one last person in the queue as it stands, and it is Jason. So we shall switch over to Jason.
Hey,
Hi,
how you
Jason.
doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So yeah, let me try to share my screen. Hold on a minute. On the right one. Let me move it over to this side. It might not be in the same. Let's see, share screen. I have two screens. So I think it might be causing a problem. Here we go. Okay, this one.
Cool. We've got you.
Okay, cool. All right, so what I'm trying to do is I have this spreadsheet that's connected, and there's this field here that says activation status, and it either says activated or not activated. This is just a small part of what I'm working on, so this will solve one little thing. But what I'm trying to do, I go into ChatGPT, and somebody posted something on how to use your AI stuff because it hasn't ever done anything for me. It always gives me these errors anytime I ask it something. So I got to watch those videos and see what I'm not doing right.
Okay, this is a fancy day.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
No, this is definitely a bug.
Oh, I've never been able to use the AI.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have no idea how. I didn't even look into it because I just figured it didn't work. I think when I first started one, I used it, like it asked me what I wanted the project to be, and I entered something in and it spit out something fairly useless. But what I've been doing is I use ChatGPT and I say, so what I'm trying to do is make these tags, these map tags, be a different color based on the status of that field, whether it's activated or not. And it gives me what I just realized is JavaScript. And I realized I could do this here. Okay. And what ChatGPT gives me is, let me see if I can paste it in there.
It won't work here for sure.
Oh, you can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. It gives me something that says, it's like an if-then statement, and I'm not a programmer, but it gives me some kind of code in there that says if that field labeled status equals activated, then it gives me a link to like a map, a blue map icon, and then it says else a red map or something like that. But is there any way to just copy something in from Chat GPT into here?
Not unless you're very familiar with WeWeb, because there's a lot of nuance to it.
Right.
And it would also you'd have to prompt it in a way where you kind of define how it needs to give you certain things so that you can make it work in the context of the editor. Unfortunately, in this case, the best way definitely would have been to use the built-in AI. I don't know where the errors you're getting are.
Yeah. Can you just try again with a new in a new conversation? So can you click the plus button here? Yeah. And in here, you've got map, formula. Okay. Yeah, I think you can close the formula too.
Okay. Just hit enter right there?
And just the panel on the left. In here, you can just close it and it will remove formula. Yeah, this one.
Close that?
Yes. Okay, so in here, just tell it what to do. Like we might need to, because I see we don't have markers anymore here. So can you just
put the
click it
markers back real quick? Hold on.
Yeah. Well, you can undo. You can undo in here, just at the top. delete all
Oh,
above.
just undo, go back.
Yes,
Where-
yes, absolutely.
Where's undo on this?
Yes, it was here.
Right there.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Oh,
So can you go back to AI? Okay, and just ask it to change the colors. Yeah, depending on the status.
If you
I think this is what you're asking.
maybe
So sorry, Matthew.
remove the first bit, saying how can I add code, because you won't need to. You can just basically ask it point blank what you want to do. So you could just say how, or even just change the colors for me. So change the colors to change the colors based on whatever field you want it to be. So what field did you want it to be?
Status field in the sheet. Like that?
Yeah, and what you could do is if you press the plus icon at the top left of the chat window, yeah, press that one. And then you can, which collection were you passing in for the markers? Was it the retail
This one.
locations?
It was
Yeah,
retail location.
If you click on data, right there, yeah, there. So now it has context of the data, so it's just more likely to know what it's doing. So if you submit that, and then what, you've got a very odd one.
Now I'm not on a paid account. Does that matter?
I don't think so, because the error you got, it wouldn't. I mean, it would tell you if it was having something to do with tokens.
We definitely need to take a look. There is something with your account. So could you also create a ticket in the support team to make this work? I mean, you definitely need AI for this.
So in theory, what that would do is basically what I was asking ChatGPT to do. You guys have that capability built in?
Yes, absolutely.
Because that would be awesome. Because that's one of the problems. Like, I'm not a coder, and I've been trying to write this program, and I tried a bunch of different things like yours, the no code, and then I was doing it with just ChatGPT, doing, I think it was Firebase, and I got like this far on far, but it would tell me exactly what to put in, and you just code it into HTML, into like a text editor, and then it worked. So if you had that capability built in, it didn't work on your system because you have to click these, like all these little fields, and obviously chat can't tell you how to do that. If your capability does, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so this component maybe doesn't have the ability to change the color of markers, but you can ask AI to basically create a component just for you, for your need, and it will code it, and it will be yours. So you just ask for, I need to be able to change this and this and that, and display it, and it works. So for example, in this one, you can click on it, and you've got a button called fork, and then you've got the code of that component, and you can ask AI to update the code.
Yeah, right.
So you can do that, but AI needs to work on your account, so I don't understand why. So yeah, please create a ticket, and we will definitely follow up what's going on, and to understand what's going on with your account to make this work.
Okay. Should I reference anything, or just say I was on this office time? And
yeah. You can type in between brackets OH in the ticket title, and we will take a look. So it will be easier for us to follow up.
Cool. Awesome.
Super. Apologies, Jason.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Just
so you guys know, I've auditioned like 5 different services, probably all your competitors, and the reason why put as much time so far into yours is because of the support that you guys are offering, and like even like this kind of thing, where when you're just kind of going blind at this, you don't know what you're doing, you kind of need that support. You guys are providing it, and that makes a big difference. So I appreciate that, and I'm sure all the other people do as well that are paying attention here. So thank you.
No, we appreciate that.
Yeah,
it's always great to see, because we appreciate you sitting through things like this. Obviously, it's not ideal right now. You don't want to experience these bugs, but the fact you power through it we appreciate it also. So thank you.
Great.
Super. Right. Cheers, Jason.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks.
Right. That is bang on the hour. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. As always, we will be back here again next week for another edition of Office Hours. Hopefully it's not as fancy, but you never know. We love fancy. So yeah, we shall see you all next week.